So I was hosting this big family dinner last weekend, right? And I had this grand illusion that I could roast a chicken, whisk together a complex reduction sauce, and, actively entertain my cousins all at the exact same time.
Yeah, that sounds like a recipe for definitely dropping something.
Oh, it absolutely was. I totally dropped an entire tray of roasted vegetables on the floor
What?
while I was trying to pour wine.
Uh,
You can really only spin so many plates before one just inevitably shatters.
right, exactly. There's a hard limit to human bandwidth.
Totally. Well, anyway, welcome to Intellectually Curious. We are so glad you are here with us today for another highly optimistic deep dive. And today's mission is all about exploring a tool that basically stops developers from dropping plates.
Yeah, and it's a really exciting one. We are looking at Multigres version 0.1 alpha today.
Right, which is being pitched as this sort of operating system for Postgres. And honestly, the phrase that really caught my eye in the docs was Vite for Postgres.
I mean, it's a bold claim, for sure, but it makes a lot of sense when you look at the core problem. Postgres is this incredibly mature, reliable database, but once your traffic hits a certain scale, managing it stops being about the database itself.
Right, because you aren't just writing SQL anymore at that point. You're suddenly manually managing read replicas and failovers and all that stuff.
Exactly, and connection limits. It becomes a massive operational chore, just tons of manual duct tape. But Multigres, which just released this open source alpha, by the way, and I think a super-based version is actually coming soon, it uses a Kubernetes operator to just orchestrate all of that.
So wait, is this kind of like hiring a dedicated kitchen manager? Like, so the head chef can finally just focus on actually cooking the food instead of organizing the pantry?
That is a great way to look at it, yeah. Instead of a DevOps team constantly scrambling to manually reroute traffic when a node goes down, Multigres natively handles the logistics, so the engine just processes data.
Okay, but a kitchen manager is great until, the power goes out.
Yeah.
So how does Multigres keep the database alive when things actually break?
Well, so it treats high availability, or HA, as a consensus problem. But the really cool thing is it allows for user-defined durability policies.
Oh, interesting. Like what kind of policies?
So you aren't boxed into strict majority quorums like you are with traditional distributed systems. You can just configure it to say, hey, I just need my data to survive a single availability zone failure, and it optimizes for exactly that policy.
Wow. Okay.
And the most impressive part, it does all of this using standard unmodified Postgres replication.
Yeah, wait, let me push back on that for a second. Unmodified. Because standard Postgres doesn't have native distributed consensus protocols built in like Raft or Paxos, right?
Right. No, you are spot on. It doesn't have that natively.
So if it's not modifying the core engine, how is it suddenly resolving complex HA failures then?
So that is where the architecture really shines. Multigres intelligently layers generalized consensus protocols on top of the database. It basically builds a management layer that watches the replication state from the outside.
Oh, I get it. So if there is a split brain scenario where two nodes think they are the primary, this external layer just steps in.
Exactly. It resolves it by routing traffic and reconciling commits, so you get consensus without needing a proprietary rewritten version of Postgres.
That makes total sense. You're getting the distributed logic without sacrificing the pure core. Now, keeping the state safe is only half the battle, right? But managing the flood of customer traffic is the other half. And actually, speaking of managing tech complexity, I need to mention today's sponsor real quick.
Oh, right, Embersilk.
Yeah. This podcast is sponsored by Embersilk. If you need help with AI training or automation, integration, or software development, they are fantastic. If you're trying to uncover where agents can make the most impact for your business or even your personal life, definitely check out embersilk.com for your AI needs.
Yeah, they do really great work.
So, jumping back to the traffic flood, how does Multigres handle connection pooling? Because usually, you just slap PG Bouncer on there and just kind of hope for the best.
Right. Well, Multigres takes a much more integrated approach. It uses a two-service pooling architecture. There is a multi-gateway that routes incoming queries and a multi-pooler for the backend. And the real secret sauce here is this context-aware pooling.
Context-aware? Wait, so it's actually parsing the SQL queries. It's not just blindly forwarding network packets.
Yes, exactly. It parses the queries to understand the intent. So if a request needs a stateful connection, like it's opening a transaction, the gateway seamlessly pins that specific connection to the backend.
Oh, that is so smart.
And it goes a step further by actually deduplicating prepared statements across gateways, which massively reduces overhead on the database.
Okay, so it is basically like a brilliant maitre Like someone who knows exactly what the customers are going to order before they sit down and just groups them perfectly at the right tables.
I love that analogy. Yes, it's exactly like that. And once your traffic is flowing perfectly, you need an insurance policy. So Multigres tightly integrates PG backrest for automated backups and bootstrapping.
Which means basically no human intervention if you have to bring up a new cluster, right?
Exactly. It just identifies a primary and runs the backup. Now, it is important to note that version 0.1 is currently single shard, but horizontal sharding is on the horizon, and that is really the flagship feature here.
Right, and that is exactly where the Vitess for Postgres comparison comes in. Horizontal sharding means taking a massive database and transparently splitting it across servers.
Precisely. And the application still queries it like it's just one giant infinite database. Once sharding drops, the capacity for scale becomes practically limitless.
Which is just incredible. And actually, that leads me to a thought I want to leave you with today. If tools like Multigres can completely automate database state, routing, and eventually sharding, imagine what other digital bottlenecks are about to just disappear entirely.
It is a really, really exciting time to be building software, for sure.
It really is. The future of tech is just so bright, and we are finally freeing human creativity from all this manual maintenance. Hey, if you enjoy this podcast, please subscribe to the show, leave us a 5-star review if you can. It really does help get the word out. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for hanging out with us, everyone.
We will catch you on the next deep dive.